Marlene from Meanstreak, and you're listening to Rockum Radio.
How do you feel about the release of your new EP, Blood Moon?
Our new EP, Blood Moon. I'm over the moon about it. I'm very excited about the release. We're really happy because it's just like we just kind of wanted to see how it would be accepted by people, after not being around for so many years. So we're really happy about the way it's being accepted by everybody, and we're very pleased with it. We're pleased with the way it came out, and we're very excited with all the upcoming events that we have.
Oh, Meanstreak has been a pioneer in the female metal since 1985.
Yes.
What obstacle did you face at the beginning, and how do you overcome them?
Well, at the very beginning, when we started, there really were very minimal female bands in a heavy metal world, like almost none, and just a handful. So it was really hard breaking into a male-dominated genre, and there was a lot of men that we'd look out into the audience and we'd see them like, oh yeah, what are these girls gonna do? Let's see. And we just decided we were going to get up there and we were going to play the best we could play, and we were going to ignore any of the comments or any of the disapproval.
Okay.
And we wound up overcoming that. And people wound up saying, wow, they can play, they know what they're doing, and they wound up accepting us. And I think we did a hell of a job, getting over that.
Wow. What can you tell me about the recording process of this EP, Blood Moon? Were there any challenge of memorable moments during the productions?
Well, you see, we used to all live together in New York. We were all New Yorkers from the same, basically the same area. But, here we are 30 years later, 28 years later. We have one girl in New Mexico, one girl in California. Mm-hmm. Martens and myself are here in Pennsylvania, and Raina is in New York still, all very scattered, very far apart from each other. So that created a bit of a problem with recording. So we were, doing what is pretty common today, sharing all the files and sending them to each other's studios and recording that way. But which is not really different today. In today's world, that's the way a lot of bands do things. But for us, coming out of the 80s and 90s, we didn't do that. So it was a little bit of a challenge. But we got through it. We did the bulk of the recording at our drummer Yael's studio, and mainly at Dream Theater headquarters with Jimmy T, their engineer, and he mixed and engineered. He mixed the whole EP. So that made it extremely exciting. And that studio is beautiful, and, everything is great there. So unfortunately, like I said, the whole band was never at Dream Theater headquarters at the same time. So it would be me, Raina, and Martens. And then Jimmy T would have to send the files over to Yael and Bettina on the West Coast, and Yael would deal with them at her studio. So that was the challenge that we faced. And like I said, that was a very new way of recording for me and Martens, because we hadn't done this in a long time. I think Yael's done things like that, but for the most part, that was new for all of us.
Okay. Since your formation in 1985, how has Meanstreak's sound and style evolved?
Basically, I think that our style and our sound has basically stayed very true to what we are through all that time in the 80s and the 90s, and even still to now. We still love our roots. We still love what we do. We still love the style that we always played. And while we're writing music now, I feel that we're still sticking to our roots and sticking to our guns and still playing what we truly love. So our sound is still the same. I think we evolved to be a better version of what we always were. That's what I think.
Okay. What musical influence has been the most important for Mainstreak over the years?
Over the years, it has stayed the same. Our influences have always been like Metallica, Iron Maiden, metal, Judas Priest, all those bands. Yeah, the best, in my opinion, the best.
Absolutely.
And
Agree with you.
yeah, it's still stayed with us. Like it's just in our blood. When we're writing riffs, they just come out, and they're still our main influences are still. I could still hear it in our writing styles.
Wow. Marlene, after such a long hiatus, what motivated you to reunite and return to music in 2022?
So what happened was it was during COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole COVID shutdown, and we were all chatting on a Zoom call. We would get together and drink wine and talk to each other and chat. And during one of those Zoom calls, we decided, why don't we get together and start playing again? As soon as we can break out of our houses, let's do this. And that's actually how we got it back together. As soon as we were all released from our homes, we planned a trip and we got together and just decided to start playing again. So it was, I don't know how you could thank COVID for something, because COVID was the worst thing in the world, but thanks to COVID, here we are.
In my opinion, the album Roadkill is an amazing thrash metal album.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
That's one of the first female thrash metal albums that I listen to, honest. Because here in Canada, we have Lee Aron, and it's not like the power that you have with Roadkill. And
yes,
my question is, how do you feel about paving the way for other women in metal?
It makes you feel good knowing that we kind of opened up those doors for a lot of other women. I would have liked to see us go a little bit farther, but it inspires me to know that other women listened to our band and decided, hey, we can do that too. That makes you feel really, really good about what you did.
Wow. Talking about Roadkill, that album is very difficult to find in physical format. Are there any plans to reissue it so fans can get a physical copy?
We're trying to figure that out ourselves. Like I have it, but I've seen it on eBay and places like that. And apparently we are under the impression that somebody that works with our label is still like putting it on Spotify, and we're not really sure. We're still doing our research on how to find it, but we honestly don't know how to find it. We wish we could.
Yes. How was the experience of supporting John Petrucci's solo tour and the reunion with your husband, Mike Portnoy, especially with the stops in Toronto and Quebec City, Canada?
Our experience, that tour was like no other. It was unbelievable. Like just from start to finish, it was unbelievable. We were a little nervous about taking that because of the difference in the musical styles between, John Petrucci, prog, shredder. We're metal all the way. We're heavy metal. We were afraid the audience would maybe not accept us or not really be into our style of music. Mm-hmm. And we were completely wrong. They accepted us with open arms. They were very supportive audience, very supportive fans. They really got into the music. And the fact that we were touring, that made the tour, that of all made the tour phenomenal, having like such a supportive audience and seeing the smiles on everyone's faces and the cheers in the audience. That was unbelievable every night. But aside from that, getting to be on tour with my husband was like a dream come true. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time. Getting to be on tour with your husband, having fun, being in a different city every day, just the laughs and the stories I could tell you were just amazing. It was just an unbelievable experience for all of us. One we'll never forget, that's for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. What's your opinion about the streaming services?
Oh,
Like Spotify, like that. The last week, I had an interview with Carmine Appice, and he said, buy my album, don't Spotify it. And I want to know, what is your opinion about that?
I was one of the people that was never for streaming because I knew it was going to hurt musicians and bands financially. And, you know, it is our livelihood. I mean, that is the way that we financially make money. Because if musicians were out having to have like a day job at an accounting office or, you know, be a lawyer, they wouldn't have the time to make the albums or the music. So when you lose all that revenue by streaming, musicians make absolutely no money from streaming. None. So if you lose the money from streaming, well, how do you make money then? How do you eat? How do you pay your rent? How do you put your kids through school? Like it really, I'm not one for the streaming services, but I'm completely against them, to be honest. But there is also a good side. And the good side is there are a lot of bands that probably would have never had a platform to be heard by anybody anywhere if it wasn't for these streaming services. So because of that, there is a really good side to it. And it gives the unknown artist a chance to actually get exposure and be out there and be heard by other people. Outside of that, that's the only part that I like.
The only part.
Yeah, that's the only part because it basically kind of screwed over every musician on the planet.
Thank you.
And the record company and everybody in the industry, except the owners of the streaming services.
Thank you for being honest. Thank you. With so many years in the music industry, what advice would you give to a young woman who wants to break into metal?
Ooh, stick to your guns. Don't let anybody tell you cannot do it because you can do it. And don't let anybody tell you it's because you're a girl. Just do it. Play what you want from your heart. Don't change for anybody and just do what you love. That's what I would tell them.
Beautiful. A crazy question? Okay.
Yes.
All right. If you could form a super group with any musicians, living or dead, who would it be, the members, and why?
A super group. Do they all have to be alive?
Living or dead?
Because I would have Freddie Mercury as my lead vocalist.
Nice.
Let's see. I'll take James Hetfield on guitar.
Good choice.
Yeah. My husband on drums.
Yeah.
I have to put him in there somewhere if I want to stay married. Let's see, who's a bass player? Oh, what's his name? My favorite bass player of all time. And I'm spacing out right now on his name because I got about 800 musicians running through my head right now. I don't know who my favorite bass player would be. It would be Meanstreak. It would be the girls in my band. That would be my favorite band.
Okay, fair enough. Have you ever had any funny or embarrassing experiences on stage that you can share with us?
Well, there was one time we were opening up for Paul Di'Anno's band, and we decided to play an Iron Maiden song.
With Paul Di'Anno?
Yes, we opened up for the band, and we got up there, and we were ready to play Iron Maiden, and the drummer clicked, and we all went, and it was just silence, and the whole audience went hysterical laughing, and then we just started playing The Trooper, and then everyone was like, that was a pretty
oh my
move on our behalf to play an Iron Maiden tune that he wasn't on. Hang up for him.
Good. What are your plans for the near future? Will there a tour to promote? Blood Moon, maybe Canada?
We would love to come to Canada. We would love. We're working on getting a lot of bookings, but right now we have one show on the table that we just booked, and it is with Metal Allegiance in here in the States on September 6th. We're opening up for Metal Allegiance, and we're playing in New Jersey. It's in Sellersville. Aside from that, we're working on getting a couple of other dates booked around that, but nothing's been confirmed yet aside from that one particular show.
And finally, is there anything else you would like to share with your fans and our listeners?
Just if you don't know, our you can get all our social media, all our store, everything with meanstreakofficial.com. You can get our EP there and everything, and keep your eyes open because we are in the middle of writing new material, and we should be getting that out in the next couple of months as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much. You're the second Portnoy that I interviewed. The first one was Max.
Oh, it was Max.
Like 3 years ago. With
little Maxo.
Talas.
Yes.
Great band. It's amazing.
Love that band. Love Tom.
How's him?
He's great. He just got back from, where was he? He was in Europe with Code Orange.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's getting ready to leave with Tala again. They're doing a festival tour. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry. I'd love to plug my son's band right now. But they're coming to Europe. They're doing a whole bunch of festivals in Europe, Tala.
Wow, you're really blessed. You have an amazing family.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for your time again, and I hope to see you on the road one day.
Thank you. I hope to see you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.